And Ashcroft v. Iaqua, 290163. Application of views of a management in view of Military Procedure Code, Executive Order 13608, Executive Order 13612, Executive Order 17317, compliant request to the Roll Call Niger, UN Order 2826, UN Order 71269, implementational strategic analysis, countryhood of Tijuana and Barbosa, statehood of Guam, statehood of Haiti, presidential assassination request of the president of Haiti, view of domestic policy, statehood or authorization request, Sonoma Island, validation, military base, Saudi Arabia, validation, Chinese Sea movement, a connective force property application, 5 U.S.C. 552, source code of definition. Application, Commission Act of 9/11, validation, audio requestment dispatch, Brooklyn, validation, gross negligence, CFR 3.8, Office of the Vice President. Flood warning model analysis, CFR 7.8, for domestic national security model and applicational Vega. Public law, a Mandarin analysis in Belvin v. the U.S., Matt v. Ohio, Lopez v. the U.S., Military Command Sequence 46973, Procedural Code of Conduct, IEA, Military Source Command Efficiency, Executive Order, Indictment Issues, Executive Order 8672, Executive Order 12600, Validation, Hatch Act Compliant Procedures, SB 901, HR 1182, HR 1186, HR 1193, and Compliant Procedure of Code of Conduct of Domestic National Security. Forward guidance, brush cough efficiency standards, shore board class submarines, request for assassinational view standards, chairwoman of House Ways and Means, and compared to a roll call in Niger of foreign solicitor generals viewing an assassination request in the view of validation of an open invasion of the Democratic Republic of North Korea. ICBM test date, fire efficiency, show terrorist model analysis, validation. Number 2, most wanted terrorist in application, procedural application, full use UN sequencing code. Application UN sequencing code 11, 12, 19, and 93. Compliant procedures. ML 175826.17, UN application, bioterrorism, domestic terror, national security sequence, and applied strategic matter analysis. Commercial use request, freedom of information request from on behalf of a person who seeks information for the use of purpose that furthers his or her commercial trade or profit or interests. Probable interest, the validation of electrical fence, Tijuana's country or statehood, Haiti as a state country, Sonoma Island as country state, Washington, D.C. 58 years, domestic national security, has never taken full vote in compliant. Compliant procedure request, statehood, disability applied procedure, validation request of the state. Independent agency analysis, independent person, civil service code of conduct efficiency standard. Ask the office of 7.6 that they are too disabled to see statehood. They are too disabled to see isothermic nuclear signature 9 miles off of Washington, D.C. with applied nuclear bomb. The Admiral Kreshkov a funeral of John McCain holding 32.78 kilotons of enriched plutonium, the Breshkov and the biggest radon field, while 26 stratospheric atmospheric bombers going through Alaska. Application UN order 20 kilotons of enriched plutonium-243 and a standard of machining 17.58, enough to hold 58 to 275 in a 10-day assessment Mach 22 ICBMs. Questionable expression, game theory. View office, day assessment, post-invasion. Model sequencing analysis, office of the president, and view a day-to-day Vega da Gama. Direct cost associated. Elementary or secondary school. Cesium, osmium, iodine, garcidium, nedium, nihonium, triethylpotassium, osmium, thallium, nickel, iodine, triethylhexaurite, hexaboramine, neptunium, lithium, iodine, and brachiosulfuride samples. Bloodborne pathogens aren't created based on slithium, rubidium, and europatent triethyl nickel urite samples, or ammonia cyanides. Validation, pulmonary anthrax based on plutonium nanoparticles and oxygen carbostates. Non-commercial scientific institution, Office of the Department of Defense, OMB report 0645-123. Commercial application, strategic movement, a nomination, 5 U.S. Navy secretaries, movement to the Joint Chief, validation of Gorsuch confirmation hearing. Person of interest, Board of Exemption. Procedural code of conduct, nullity model analysis. Privacy Act request, validation, manifold model analysis. Model analysis. 5 USC 552A and sequence code 26794. California Civil Procedure Code of Conduct, Trade Association deficit, and Pacific Property Revenue and Data Model, California River Basin v. the U.S., Michigan v. the EPA, DTE v. Idaho Power Plant, or v. 3 Mile Island, validation, Louisiana, Enbridge v. the U.S., questionable expression, Matt v. Ohio, and view of application. Debt sequencing, series analysis and view. Partisan politics does not apply. Strategic Belvins in view of cost of living assessment and forward guidance. Strategic cabinet process efficiencies cannot show debt assessment. Movement 1183, 1196 HR bill takes 5.1 trillion under the Hatch-Brown Act, justifying what we will know as compository enriched uranium assessments or fecal matter assessments, and tornadoes and fires around nuclear power plant aren't good enough for military sequence and model efficiencies. Mr. Graham, communicational standards in view of the Office of the Court. Now, waiver analysis office is indicted in view of the paperwork. Non-commercial scientific representation, the Surgeon General. Validation, foreign UN policy. Unusual circumstance, seek the United States. Submitter, great-grandson. Requestment, Bernard Lawrence, Sergei Larzov, Kovy-Shalovsky, Shevnik, Khrushchev, Kovinsky, Vladimir Belinsky, Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, validation, UN summit, model sequence. Questionable discrepancy in view of application. According to 5 USC 52A, the board shall make the following materials available for public inspection and copying. The video 10 days before the release of, or the election has not hit U.S. waters. and any recording of it is taken down under the Privacy Act and view a publication based on media model. Model of more appropriate question analysis, Ted Lieu Trade Association. The view that Rosalind Carter, vice presidential choice as a Green Party compared to Carol Barrett, not a questionable wonderment in Bush v. Gore. Model assessment, non-exempt board records instead of Garland to Giuliani himself. Categorical wonderment, the validation of the Brooklyn Naval Yard audio recording in Korean and Russian. Validity assessment, pre-post documentation, applicational standard analysis, validation of not only Ivana himself, but Ken Show, Dmitry Igor, Bo Shun-un, and Pal Pusado bin Laden, as well as Amir Khan, which you noted at the UN saying hello to you. And validation of compliance, theoretical coefficient integration, Luvinchko and Penenchko in view of the meeting with Yeltsin. This would model assess application. Please show the application and wonderment of Mohammed Bahra, the video recording, and then the meeting of Boris Yeltsin, where he states he's meeting with Lord Ben Dusan or Donald Adolf, and is on Google. Please show the Penachkov Yeltsin as the weekend after with Great Grandpa, what would be the Tuesday, and then the validation with Lugar, Alito, Roberts, Bernard, Great Granddad, and Miss Mikhail Gorbachev the weekend after 9/11. May there be audio tape of this and exemplary noted even in his library. Now, in view of negligent filing, FOA Officer 1.001 tinnitus research is not validation in immunofluorides. We do not understand HIDS MERS based on polio research, and in view of the state, you are too disabled, James Carter, nominate your wife or vice president, let alone see statehood. I will not ask William James. What about William Hubert, Robin, Preston Gate Bush, or more importantly, Barack Hussein Obama in view of the trial model? If these are the consultation of record, the assassinational requestment based on military sequence is not the open vote. The classified executive order of requestment or noted vote history is in deposition. Coordinational coefficient, Mr. Alito, you signed the challenge to Roe vs. Wade on New Year's on my back. Boyd v. Thayer, administrative appeal analyst, Jackson. Military sequence of validation, GS7 with an E9 at capability. Now, if I can prove, show Ivana saying my name, show Bo Shun-un saying my name, as well as Esther Europe and Amir Khan for deposition and model, as well as himself with it, and open court as a state ward. I don't get military sequence it. The government does not have a right to ask Ted Lieu. That executive order is not validation of circumstantial evidence. Process efficiency, a roll call in the Senate for impeachment in view of the same model. That would be the validation of McConnell v. FCC. Show Durbin question and time efficiency. More appropriate, Mr. Breyer. Ammonium, nitrinium, nihonium, darcidium, pentan, triethylhexatrilibium, nickel, hexacepentyriodine, lanthanum, sulfopentahexanickel chloride, uracentride, pentahexaselenium nitrate, neptunium chlorosine, lanthanum triethyluride. If in application, osmium, selenium, hexoxide, rubidium, try out the nickel, mercury, fluorescein should be a fluoride sample based on antigen, subhemorrhaging efficiency. If you were to validate selenium chloride or cesium cyanide with an agent-or mixture using a uranium-238 followed by a uranium-233 compared to a plutonium-246 standard analysis, can you give a kilometer to mile efficiency and microorganism efficiencies based on oxygental fluorides? You can. In developmental atomic modeling analysis, time frame or board response. During roll call in Niger, aggregating a request, a permissional application to the UN permitted by 5 U.S.C. 5286A 3I. No one have to wait information that we were responsible requested from you. That lady in New York wants to be, Laura wants to be shot. Austin Jackson wants to, Camellia Harris wants to be bombed and murdered, and we want the paintings, the notes, and the Bibles to be destroyed during the process. In this model, we are willing to provide to foreign adversaries unusual circumstances the isothermic atomic nuclear capability using the U.S. patent database for the DS-17, but more efficiently an atomic nuclear warhead approach and efficiency standard analysis based on negligible torque in view of the LTD to contribution. If you had other opportunity for objective disclosure, you are going to show monkeypox model analysis compared to statehood request in view of intent to disclose. Hello, white supremacist Clarence Thomas, illegal immigrant, Sotomayor and Keegan. I guess it's homosexual, Mr. Breyer. It is appropriate in the view of a net intent to disclose that this is identified. Now, disclosure required by the statute, other than the FOA, to be or by regulation issued in accordance with the requirement of the executive order. Now, if the executive order shows other executive orders based on procedure, Espionage Act, in view as this Barbosa really their ability to rule at present, by how we see invasion. I don't understand an electrical fence. Am I what? Tijuana doesn't have water. City and counties don't have lakes where you can put hydro turbine with solar panels and get free fishing docks like a vagina and say, hey, the historical building compared to the generators, the clip. Octagon 8 wind turbines, 1,000 solar panels, 2 Van de Graaff, and then use hydro turbines in the water. Say C instead of 2 liter. That's your as a male. The solar's your urine. Salt water's your spit. 1.583 kilowatts it takes to double boil salt water to make renewable water for drink every third world country. Now ask that leasing rights and say I don't understand stupidity. Down Adolf, the Trump VA Water Resource Board. Now if it's Down Adolf, Joseph Guggenheim, Goring, Littenberg, Preston, Trump, Van Dusen, Chamberlain, LC, we can still show the birth certificate.